won't take very long at all. I'm going to explain when people state that the United States is a corporation, how you can better understand this instead of constantly being met with anti-conspiracy theory rhetoric, right? Here's just the facts so that you can understand it for yourself. So, the District of Columbia Organic Act of 1871. This is in regard to Washington, D.C., right? Our nation's capital. So, the District of Columbia Organic Act of 1871 is an act of Congress that repealed the individual charters of the cities of Washington and Georgetown and established a new territorial government for the whole District of Columbia. Though Congress repealed the territorial government in 1874, the legislation was the first to create a single municipal government for the federal district. Direct rule by Congress continued into the 1973 passage of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act a century later. Okay, so they say a single municipal government. A municipality is usually a single administrative division having corporate status and powers of self-government or jurisdiction as granted by national and regional laws to which it is subordinate. We're going to get to that. Don't worry, we're going to get to that. Okay. So, these are just a series of questions that I prepared. True or false? The District of Columbia Organic Act of 1871 designated the District of Columbia as a municipal corporate entity. True. The District of Columbia Organic Act of 1871 consolidated the cities of Washington, Georgetown, Washington County into a single, unified territorial government under the name the District of Columbia, and specifically constituted it as a body corporate for municipal purposes. Remember, this Columbia is a very esoteric terminology related to mystery rights. True or false? All three branches of government are located within the jurisdiction of the District of Columbia. True. The main headquarters for all three branches of the U.S. federal government are located within the jurisdiction of the District of Columbia. Legislative branch, the U.S. Congress, the House of Representatives, and Senate, is housed in the U.S. Capitol building. Executive branch, the President's official residence and principal workplace are the White House, and many executive branch departments and agencies are also located throughout D.C. Judicial branch, the Supreme Court of the United States, as well as various lower federal courts, are located in Washington, D.C. True or false? The jurisdiction of the District of Columbia belongs to Congress. True. The U.S. Constitution grants Congress exclusive jurisdiction over the District of Columbia, quote, in all cases whatsoever, end quote. While Congress has granted D.C. a form of home rule through the District of Columbia Home Rule Act of 1973, which allows for an elected mayor and city council to manage local affairs, Congress still retains ultimate authority and can review, approve, or even overturn laws passed by the D.C. Council. This is why D.C. residents do not have voting representation in Congress, and it's a key aspect of the ongoing debate about D.C. statehood. A municipal corporate entity, or municipal corporation, is essentially a local government unit that has been granted legal authority by the state to operate and manage its own affairs. It functions as a body politic and corporate, similar to how a private corporation has legal standing, but its primary purpose is to carry out governmental functions for the public good rather than generate profit. Okay. Governing local affairs, state created and governed, dual capacity. Municipal corporations function in a dual capacity. Governmental and public, right? Carrying out essential governmental duties like maintaining public order, providing police and fire protection, ensuring public safety and welfare, and proprietary/private. This involves engaging in activities that are similar to those carried out by private businesses, such as managing public utilities like water or electricity, or running certain enterprises for the community's benefit. Pancake, stop, bro. Not right now. All right. And I asked, as a designated corporation, they have the capacity to operate as business entities, just to be very clear, right? Yes, as designated corporate entities, municipal corporations do have the capacity to operate as business entities in certain situations according to legal frameworks and court decisions. proprietary functions, acting in a proprietary or corporate capacity rather than a purely governmental one. Examples like public utilities, water, electricity services, managing public markets and slaughterhouses, or even running enterprises like hotels and golf courses. Legal standing. In such instances, the municipal corporation is treated similarly to a private business or entity and can be held responsible for its actions in the same way. Revenue generation. These enterprises can generate revenue for the local community, yada, yada, yada. Okay? And then, just to be sure, did the Home Rule Act of 1973 dissolve the corporate status of the District of Columbia? No. The Home Rule Act of 1973 did not dissolve the corporate status of the District of Columbia. Instead, it granted D.C. residents the right to elect their own local government, including a mayor and city council, while still maintaining the district status as a federal district. Congress retains oversight and can overturn local laws. Okay, so now hopefully you understand that our nation's capital is a corporate entity within the jurisdiction of which all three branches of government are located, making them, right, or meaning that they fall under the control of a corporate entity. Okay, the United States is a corporation.